Hi, it's T. Michelle Birdsong. Eve, mother of all living, daughter of the sun, mainstream includes to the marginalized, mainstream includes to you. I want to tell you about a couple of videos I saw that are well worth watching. This one is called 12 Virus Health Experts Condemn Extreme COVID-19 Response, with interview with David Icke. And this is where the URL for it, at the David Icke channel. And the other video, which I'll be commenting at length about, is called Exclusive. Top Doctor Exposes Everything the Deep State is Trying to Keep from You. And the doctor is Dr. Shiva, and this is his last name, Ayyadurai, and he's the inventor of email, the creator of email. He put it together. And this interview is at the Next News Network. It's absolutely fascinating and enlightening. He has 4 degrees from MIT, and he's an Indian of low caste. They're called the Untouchables. Remember them? Okay. So I took notes from what he said. Okay. And this is a picture of Jesus Christ the Buddha, now being Gurinder Singh Dhillon. I'll try to keep the camera on him. Email came about as a way of liberating women from the typewriter, secretaries, to the computer. It was created by a 14-year-old boy. He turned the complicated office system to an electronic system. By the way, TV was invented by a 14-year-old boy from Idaho. Ideas are not, and it took him 60 years to get his credit. Ideas are not protected by copyright, says Dr. Shiva. So Eve, the source of the energy of ideas, has provided ideas from the culture, has never been paid. She has been cash poor most of her life, including now. But her father, the son, wants her rewarded for her efforts, for her energy. So he made her his heir, and now wants his cost, $30 septillion, and the cost of the universe, $60 septillion, to go to her as soon as possible, as she is the queen of the universe, as she is married to the king of the universe, Jesus Christ, the Buddha, being Gurinder Singh Dhillon, architect and treasurer of creation. Okay, now you can follow, getting back to the video, you can follow Dr. Shiva at these places. ShivaForSenate.com, at Twitter.com, VA_Shiva, at YouTube.com, user Dr. VA Shiva. His thesis at MIT is on the immune system. Psychot, this is his invention. Whatever this is. Mandated medicine. Vaccine mandate. Mandated medicine means vaccines. They mandated. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Hillary Clinton, Deep State, United Nations, all these people are trying to get us to take vaccines. The virus tries to get into cells to replicate itself. What Eve, mother of all living, daughter of the sun, goes through, the world eventually goes through. When she heard about the untouchables in India, the caste system in India was created by the British. Okay, these are just, some of these are just observation sentences, okay, and some are longer paragraphs. Eve being Minnow of Clarksville, Tennessee, a colored girl living under the Democratic Party law, Jim Crow, identified herself as an untouchable when she heard about the untouchables in India. Fast forward to 2020, the practice is for humans to be untouchable. No handshaking, no hugging, staying 6 feet from each other humans so you don't touch each other. All this came about because the world, were picking up on Eve's experience of being as an untouchable because she could not sit in the front of the bus with white people because they didn't want to be touched by the colors. She could not eat in white restaurants and lunch counters. When she was 14 years old, she tried to desegregate a Woolworth 5 and dime store lunch counter. Also in the 1950s, Jesus Christ being Maharaji King Charan Singh insisted on eating lunch with the untouchables in the kitchen at the Dera Baba Jamal Singh in India in the Punjab. After a few years, the world was ready for integration and the end of segregation in America and the end of the caste system in India. And Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led a new civil rights movement after having visited India. In February and March 1959, Dr. Martin Luther King and his wife Coretta Scott King traveled throughout India. Nearly 50 years after that visit, staff at All India Radio discovered, Eve being Nikola Tesla invented radio, All India Radio discovered a message taped by Reverend Dr. King, now being Lou Ranziger, Eve's grandson. In Dr. King's message, he emphasized his intellectual debt to Mahatma Gandhi's message of nonviolent social action. That information is from NPR. In 1964, with Reverend Dr. King present, President Lyndon Baines Johnson signed into law the 1964 Civil Rights Act. T. Michelle, Eve's husband, Santa, Jesus Christ being, in 1955, 5 years after T. Michelle, Eve's husband, Santa, Jesus Christ being Maharaji Charan Singh touched untouchables at a luncheon, despite advice against it from his board. India enacted the Untouchability Offenses Act, renamed in 1976 as the Protection of Civil Rights Act. Wikipedia, that's from Wikipedia. Now, Dr. Shiva read reports that the Wuhan virus was different from the virus in Iran and the virus in Italy. It's hard to verify all of this, he said. They've never found zero case. It is possible that the virus was created by the deep state to suppress dissent. Hong Kong protests were going on. 6 months before the virus, there were massive protests in Wuhan about pollution in Wuhan. You don't protest in China without risking your life. It's not like they have the First Amendment there, said Dr. Shiva. The Paris Accords allows China to pollute double their pollution. They were going to build a large incinerator that was going to shoot out massive pollution. And in the United States, that's why the protests occurred. And in the United States, the anti-vaccine movement was growing. And Trump could not be taken down for Russian collusion. Trump could not be taken down for impeachment. Trump being the 10th Sikh guru of India. Hong Kong protests disappear. Wuhan protests now go away. Protests are uncertainty for globalists. Now the argument is, of course, we should vaccinate everyone against the virus. Eve notes, the wife of Swamiji of Agra, India, now being Melanie Lynn Spear, daughter of Eve, did not vaccinate her children 16 years ago. When her daughter, Jandar Michelle Ranziger, a projection of Baba Jamal Singh being Jesus Christ, the Buddha Gurinder Singh Dillon. Last year, Eve T. Michelle Birdsong refused to take a flu shot. Dr. Shiva says, when you're a student of politics and a student of medicine, you start to see these connections. The academic elite in this country practices the oldest profession. I have the training, he says. I call them out. Most people in this field don't understand the science of it. If you ask a typical doctor what is a virus and how does the immune system work, they actually think the virus is some big boogeyman with claws and it goes in your body and starts eating your tissues. And the vaccine blocks it. Not one of the 30 vaccines recommended for children by the CDC, not one has been placebo saline tested. The one they said they did the test on, it was a fraudulent test. Gary, the interviewer from Next News Network, said to Dr. Shiva, it doesn't surprise me. Do you think they're going to mandate this vaccine like they just passed that law in Denmark? The UN said Denmark and Sweden epitomizes the UN goals. Denmark has said they can forcibly go into people's homes with police and vaccinate people. Dr. Shiva, you don't know the side effects, says you don't know the side effects of these things. What they're saying is we don't care about the side effects. We need to get these things done. Americans need to say what's going to happen next year for medical fascism. Well, Gary, they'll say you don't want a ceased economy. There's something that's fundamental. It's not the virus that harms. Fauci is not talking about this. We have an ignorant set of educated elites, because what they're saying is there's the boogeyman called the virus, and you need a vaccine to help you. Stop it, boogeyman, savior, Bill Gates, Clinton Globalist Initiative, Big Pharma. If you actually understood the immune system, it's laughable. The immune system has evolved over billions of years. We grew up in bacteria. That's how the immune system gets turned on. That's how people get compromised immune systems. Imagine you only have 3 cylinders out of 5. The third cylinder gets overtaxed. It's not only attacks the the virus. It not only attacks the virus, but it starts attacking the tissue. It's your own body that attacks itself because of a weak and dysfunctional immune system. Excuse me. Eve says, my husband, Great Master RSSB head in the 1940s, now being Michael John Spear, told me years ago that that's what is cancer, the body attacking itself. What the cure for cancer as well as viruses is a strong immune system. Baba G, Jesus Christ, said yes. Dr. Shiva, how do you get a weakened immune system? Dr. Shiva said, eat crap all day, eat sugars all day. Note said, Eve, they add sugars to the food. One of my customers said the people who've been victimized by eating crap food also has been victimized by dirty air, dirty water. Immune system's been compromised. Also, as you age, your typhoid goes down. Your vitamin A levels go down, and you don't get enough vitamin D, nor is your body really able to do proper digestion. what ends up happening in this entire process is you have weakened immune systems. 20 to 30% obesity rate in this country, and people's immune systems are shot. So we feed people garbage, 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 dirty air, dirty water, dirty food across all established authorities. And then when a virus does hit, it's an opportunity for them to force further pharmaceuticals and vaccines. They don't address the underlying issue, which is immune health. That's why I wrote that letter to the President of the United States. This is about immune health. We don't get enough vitamin D. We don't get enough vitamin A. We don't get enough vitamin C. We're basically destroying the immune health of our people. So the answer is pretty simple. Get out in the sun. If you can't do that, boost up on vitamin D. In 1979, Jesus Christ told us we would feel healthy if we took a multivitamin daily, knowing we are lacto-vegetarians. No meat, no fish, no eggs, and nothing containing their essences. Dr. Shiva take 5 to 10,000 vitamin D. Says take 5 to 10,000 vitamin D if you're not out in the sun all the time, which we're not. Vitamin A comes from dark, rich vegetables and fruits. And where does vitamin D come from? Fruits and veggies. Vitamin A comes from dark, rich vegetables and fruits. And where does vitamin D come from? Fruits and vegetables. Monsanto-driven foods and high sugar is a recipe for death, but we're not addressing that. We're hyping up the virus and fear-mongering, and what is the result of that? People hiding out in their homes, people getting ready to accept fascism, and people not addressing the fundamental issue, which is immune health. Dr. Shiva said it's going to be, did you get all your vaccines? Hey, you can't travel. You can't go to the gym. This is where this is headed. The gym will say, hey, we can't allow you in here. You don't want to harm all these other people. Do you remember when Michael Jordan played with the flu? People were saying, look, he's strong. He's playing basketball with the flu. What I'm saying is, says Dr. Shiva, this is a master setup. It's a chess move after chess move, and it's brought to you by Anthony Fauci. Gary said he's a member of the task force and a huge supporter of Hillary Clinton. Dr. Shiva said Anthony Fauci, in my view, should be indicted. If the president actually knew what he did, the president fought the Russian collusion thing. He fought the impeachment thing. This is the most important fight he has. Fauci's been with the government since Reagan times. Eve notes Jimmy Fallon is a projection of former President Ronald Reagan. Then Bush and Barack Hussein. Fauci built his career on the false narrative that HIV causes AIDS. Remember AIDS scare? Peter Ducey, who I've spoken to, Duesberg, who I've spoken to, truly great scientist. Peter said, wait a minute, there's no causal between HIV virus, which he considered a harmless virus, and AIDS. He was vilified. All his grants went away, and the guy that was promoting this lie was Fauci's predecessor, Robert Gallo. He literally stole the HIV virus from France. Fauci took the lead, and Gallo was put in the back, and this was the beginning of the guy's career. AIDS and all the stupid celebrities getting involved in all this nonsense. So Fauci is a veteran of this. This ain't his first video. He learned how to promote bogus science to create the fear of HIV. Billions of dollars were spent on this. A lot of people died because they were immune system compromised. gays at that time were having 1,500 partners, were doing methamphetamines, all sorts of drugs. They were destroying their immune system. You had IV drug users destroying their immune systems. And you had people getting transfusions because they were immune system suppressive drugs. They were getting immune suppressive drugs. Simple point from a scientific standpoint. When you lower your immune system, that doesn't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about that. Everything is about the boogeyman virus. He is the biggest fraud that's taking place. Fauci knows what he's doing. Big Pharma and the something. And he sees his opportunity to become a hero in all of this. Okay, I'm going to stop for now because I'm running out of time. I'm sorry, some of this is a little confusing. I was writing and taking notes as fast as I could. This is Timothy L. Birdsong, Mainstreaming Clues to you.